Hi there, Leigh here, and thanks for listening. Now, this podcast, I want to share with you something that's happened to me, an upsetting thing that happened to me, and how to turn the negative to a positive. Listen up. Hope it helps.
Sell, Serve, Prosper Radio with Leigh Farnell.
Hi there, and thanks for coming back. This is Leigh Farnell, and today I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess something. This is something. You say, Leigh, you're supposed to be the guru, the expert. You shouldn't make a mistake. Oh, really? Look, some days you're just not on your game. Some days things go wrong. Some days you miss out on a sale. Some days you make mistakes. Some days you're just lazy and unconscious, or you. Anyway, I'm confessing because last week I missed out on a sale. Now, I've got to say, I don't like missing out on sales. I don't like it at all. One, because I'm coaching this, and two, what it does is show that, well, you didn't do the right thing. So I'm going to confess here and now, I stuffed up. I didn't do it right. But as I say, it's about turning the negative to a positive. As Napoleon Hill said, in every adversity lies the seed of equal or greater advantage. So how do we turn it to a positive? So what I did was I created a lesson on the online academy of what to do when you miss out on a sale. Really, I'm talking to myself. It's going, Leigh, become conscious of what you need to do, knowing, as we've said, there are 4 stages of learning. Unconscious incompetence, stage 1, where you're not even aware of the skill. You don't know you can't play guitar. You don't know you can't kick the footy ball or the soccer ball or even swim in a pool. You might be 1, 2 or 3 or 4. You might be 23. Who knows? Until you try the new skill, pick up the guitar or try to play the mouth organ or go into a situation where you need to have a conversation and then sell, you don't know, you can't do it. It's only when you try to do it, play the guitar, kick the ball, go swimming, that you become aware of the fact you can't do it. You lack the proficiency. You become what we call conscious incompetence. You're conscious of the fact you can't do it. So now what do? Well, now you need a template. You need coaching. You need steps. How do I play guitar? What do? I just pick it up and start strumming? Are there techniques to use? If I'm going to try and kick a goal or throw a goal in water polo, are there techniques? Well, best learn the techniques from someone who knows, who's studied it, who's studied under a master, who's proven that they've been able to coach others. And that's why we have the colour zone selling system to go, okay, what are the steps? Now, I immersed myself in it because I wanted to get better at this game called sales, this sport called sales, this profession called sales, this vocation called sales. And even now, I am becoming, like this week, conscious of my incompetence. Where did I go wrong? That's why it's so important to have a template, have a checklist of what you need to do to debrief, the importance of debriefing, so that you can become conscious of what's the next step I need to take. Where did I go wrong? What can I do differently or better? So we actually have a checklist. We call it the How Did I Go checklist, which actually it breaks down. What did I, first meeting, second meeting, third meeting, fourth meeting. It's actually a checklist that's on our Sales Academy of what you use to debrief, to check where did I go well, what can I do differently or better, so that I can consciously and deliberately practice to get better. Conscious competence, stage 3. So stage 1, unconscious incompetence. Stage 2, conscious incompetence. Now I'm aware I'm not so good. Stage 3, conscious competence. Now you're able to use the skill, but only by thinking about step by step. I've got to playing golf. How far is my feet apart? Is my head down? Am I doing the backswing? Am I relaxed? Like all of a sudden there are too many instructions, because a golf swing in particular starts to become an unconscious or subconscious act. You can't think of every step. So you have to deliberately practice it step by step. Conscious competence, stage 3, but now you keep consciously improving with a coach, conscious competence, conscious coaching. What is the step I need to do to focus on now? What's the next step? As a coach, we say, what is the difference that's going to make the difference? It might be in golf, your feet, your head, your wrist, what you're thinking. But in sales, it's going to be something around developing rapport, asking questions, the red zone, pitching, how did I pitch and present, green zone, how did I close, how did I summarise and close, and then purple zone, what do I do after the sale, or what do I do after not getting the sale? So I'm going to give you a few tips that I've put into this lesson, in the lesson that's on the Academy. You want to find out more, by the way, about our online Sales and Service Academy. There's over 153 different lessons and modules to help you lead, sell, serve, prosper, work in a team. It's Australian made. It's not American in your face. Hey, yell, scream, be like, fly my private jet, come from Brooklyn and swear at people. No, it's Australian. It's step by step. It's calm. I was, Leigh, you're so boring. You should be like some of these Americans. Well, I can do an American character if we need to, but the point is, it's systematic, it's quality education, and it follows my 7Ds system. Demonstrate and diagnose, decode and deconstruct, debrief, deliberate practice, drill, rehearse, diarise the daily discipline, and then how do you use dashboards and KPIs to actually help you stay on track. So the couple of the key lessons coming out of this, once I started to debrief, was this. One, ask the question, what actually happened? Did you follow the colour zones? In my case, I followed some of it, but not in detail. I jumped too quickly to red zone. I didn't spend enough time in blue zone. And what I did do, and this is a point that I'm going to say to you as well, if you don't get the sale, then go back and ask the prospect. And that's what happened. We rang up and said, listen, this is a courtesy call. You've said we haven't got the business. I just want to find out for our own purposes, because we teach our clients to do this as well. Go back and ask the prospect, where did we go wrong? What can we learn from it? So the prospect literally rang me today, and this is what he said. I won't use his name. Leigh, it was out of you and another one. We were going to get 3 quotes or 3 proposals, and it was out of you and someone else, and it's actually 2 things. One, the other trainer gave us more specific case studies to our industry. So he made us feel more comfortable. Oh, I hate that. Oh boy, that's so annoying. I have case studies in that industry, but I didn't use them. What happened? Well, I had 10 other things on my mind, didn't prepare properly, and therefore prepare case studies and examples, because people want social proof that you can do the job, and so they want to hear examples and case studies of industries just like theirs. If it's manufacturing, talk manufacturing. If it's financial services, talk financial services. If it's retirees, talk retirees. If it's young couples, talk young couples with babies. If it's young couples with dogs, talk young couples with dogs. I didn't do that. Lesson. And secondly, he said, the way you answered one of the questions was not that good. Oh, really? What was it? He said, when I asked you the question, have you been involved in direct selling? You didn't give me a direct answer. And I know what I did was, I jumped, I fell back, I've gone, mate, I've run my own business for 30 years, so on the one hand, of course I've been involved in direct selling. At the same time, I've been running these programs for over 20 years, and we've twice won Best Sales Training in Australia. Obviously, I didn't answer it with enough certainty, conviction. I didn't check with him or calibrate, or if I did, it wasn't good enough. And so here I am, bathing in the pain and upset of a lost sale. But at the same time going, I'm going to turn this to advantage. Not the least of which is, 1, I'm confessing to you, and 2, going, this is how I've developed the colour zone selling system, essentially by making hundreds and hundreds of mistakes. And of course, at the same time, in learning it and teaching others, of course, in 30 years, I've worked with clients from McDonald's, Cash Converters, Telstra Australia, Australia Post, Blackburn Property Group, Niche Living Property Group, British Standards Institute, across 13 different countries. But still, I make mistakes, and I don't like that, but of course it's part of being human. So the courtesy call was really valuable. I said, well, look, if we can be of help down the track, I'll stay in touch with you. Who knows? As the great Greek, I think it was Heralticus, said, you can never step into the same river twice. You can never step into the same river twice, because each time you step in the river, you've changed and the river has changed. So I said to the prospect today, well, look, we can be of help down the track. I'll stay in touch, and let's see if we can help you sometime in the new year. Who knows? Who knows? And by the way, as part of Buddhism, I suppose, is Leigh, let it go, let it go, let it go. Or someone else might say, build a bridge, get over it. The bridge is the lessons learned. And of course, what can we learn? Well, there's a whole range of lessons we can learn from it. The 7 Ds, as we decode and deconstruct the colour zone system and all of the different lessons, the 153 different lessons and steps that are in there. A couple of key principles. One, you, me, as a sales professional, controls the sales process, not the prospect. I got to say, if I look back, it was a 2:30 meeting in the afternoon. I clearly wasn't on my game, and I was a little too fatigued. It was a hot day, whatever it is. Excuses. Shut up, Leigh. The fact is, I let the prospect control the sales process, because the prospect said, but you just send me a proposal or a quote, I'm getting 2 or 3 others in, and then we'll get back to you. And I was foolish enough to go, okay, big mistake. No way. It's like, no. The way we work is, I will put a plan together based on what we've talked about. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you face to face. If you don't like that, well, that's okay. But to me, I just know it's going to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You'll have questions. I'd rather come out, spend 15, 20 minutes with you, go through it. You can handle any questions, and then you can tell me right there and then that you'll either yes or no. Yes, it hits the mark. No, it doesn't. How does that sound to you? In other words, I should have gone, no, the way we work is, you take control. I should have taken control of the sales process, and then said, look, from the notes I've taken from today's meeting, I'm going to come back to you with a plan and a series of options, and then you can tell me in that meeting if it's a yes or a no. How does that sound to you? You see, in the needs discovery meeting, I should have bounced several options off him with several price points, to see which one, several packages to see which one fits. I should have trial closed more. I did trial close, but we didn't trial close on a number of packages or numbers. It was way too vague, left it up in the air, and that's one of the reasons I didn't get the business. You see, if you trial close on several package options, you can watch their eyeballs. As NLP says, you can calibrate, you can use what's called sensory acuity. What do their eyeballs do? Do they move forward, back? Do they cross their arms? Does their neck go red? What happens? Are they with you or not? And another point, never put numbers into a proposal or a quote that you haven't already spoken to the prospect about. I did that. I made that mistake. Leigh, sin, say 35 Hail Marys, meditate, let go. You've got to quantify the delta. When you do the deep dive with the decision maker in the blue zone, you look at the delta. The delta being where are they now and where do they want to be? What is the difference between where they're at now, and how much is that costing them right now? How much do they expect to make if they get it right? How much better will their lives be? How will they justify to themselves and their colleagues that this is a good idea? Asking strategic, hard questions. I asked some, but not enough, and paid the price. So they're just some of the confessions I'm making to you today, dear listener. And at the same time going, well, let's turn the negative to a positive. Let's turn the setback into a set forward. And so you need to be doing the same with your colleagues, confessing your conscious incompetence, where you stub your toe, where you trip over, where you and I trip over. And of course, every now and again, we're going to do it. Not every athlete performs brilliantly every time. Of course, how do they perform brilliantly every time? It's all in the preparation. Clearly, I did not prepare well enough, and I've paid the price. So, sit with your colleagues. Do some confessing. You want an environment that's safe. That's also an important part of it. As Peter Drucker says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And so you want a culture of safety, a learning culture where it's okay to share wins and share losses and learn from it. And then go, okay, learn from it and even write on a piece of paper. I stuffed up. I learnt this, and this. I won't do it again, whatever it is. On the chalkboard. Remember in the school days, you used to have to write on the chalkboard, I made a mistake. write it 100 times, as a way of going, I'll never do this again. Because, well, there's emotion involved in stuffing up. And that's how we remember, that's how we learn to go from conscious incompetence, conscious competence, through to stage 4, unconscious competence, where we can actually do it without even thinking. I look forward to that day. But that's why we need coaches. That's why we keep challenging each other. I hope that helps you to learn from mistakes, share mistakes, what went well, what can we do differently or better. The debrief, so that we then do deliberate practice, drill, rehearse. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening.
SellServeProsper.com, the start of your sales transformation.
Well, I've got that off my chest. Thank you for listening, and I hope that it maybe inspires you to not only prepare better, but also do more detailed blue zone needs analysis. Quantify the delta. You want to find out more, then touch base with me. I've got a whole workshop on this where we've deconstructed the whole sales process. You say, Leigh, if you've deconstructed it so well, why didn't you do it better yourself? Clearly, I was lazy. I was off my game that day. I'm not happy about it. I'll learn from it. I'll move on. Live and learn. We learn no matter what age. That's what you want, a learning mindset, a Kaizen mindset. So I hope that helps. By the way, if you get value from these podcasts, let me know. Like it, share it with a friend. Give me some. If you hate it, let me know. Share me. Send direct to Leigh@leighfarnell.com or SMS me at 610412945402. Touch base with me. I want to help you grow so that you learn more, to sell more, serve more, and prosper more. Thanks for listening, and look forward to seeing you next podcast, Sell, Serve, Prosper Radio. See you soon. Hi folks, Leigh Farnell here. Share the revolution, join the revolution. You need the revolution needs you. Your friends need to be part of this revolution. So we create a sales and service revolution in your country, in your town, right around the world, because everyone needs to know how to sell, serve, so we all prosper. Please share it. It means the world to me. It'll mean the world to your friends as well. Put the tools for success into their hands. Go for it. Vive la révolution!